Hello, this is my first time doing this, so I don't really know what to expect, but it's Friday night and I am trying to work on a pattern for a pumpkin with Mosaic crochet. I'm not that great at talking and crocheting at the same time. So I figure if I don't have a lot of people watch me tonight, I'll just crochet without chatting too much. Hold on, I have to count. Where am I? Okay, I'm on row 6. I've posted a couple videos of my process. I've only made a couple patterns with Mosaic crochet. It's really fun, but I don't understand how it works that well yet. So it's taking a lot of trial and error. But I realized what I had to do was try someone else's pattern to remember and observe how it works. And then I was able to succeed because my first iteration looked like this. I was trying to make a jack-o'-lantern. Now I'm going to a pumpkin because I think the jack-o'-lantern's too much too soon for my level of skill. So that was that version. And then we have this version, which, I mean, kind of looks like a jack-o'-lantern, but it could be much better. So then I did somebody else's pattern, and it looks like this. Not a pumpkin, obviously, but a heart. And I was like, okay, I can do this, actually. So now I'm kind of taking what I learned from doing that pattern and putting it into this pumpkin. And then I realized like the jack-o'-lantern part was too hard to like figure out how to do the orange and the black together. So I'm gonna do that as my next phase and just do a pumpkin to start. So if anyone sees this, say hi. I told myself I'd be on for about 5 minutes at least. This was just my deal with myself. And we'll see how it goes from there. I like mosaic crochet, I like mosaic crochet because it's just single crochets and double crochets, which I've been doing for 20-ish years since I learned to crochet, but they're combined in a way that I never would have thought of. So I'm doing double crochets with this orange right now so that it makes a solid orange pumpkin shape. And then I'll do single crochets right here, and those will get covered up by black in the next row. So a lot of times I'm finding that's how it works when you do a single crochet, it gets covered up by a double crochet later. So I am trying out, just for experiment's sake, I know that this one is wider than this one. I'm kind of just experimenting on different shapes and how they work together. So now I cut off my orange. I'm going to switch to black, which I have a mess of yarn right here, so it's going to take me a second. Okay, I am on row 7, so now I'm going to do, so these orange single crochets I'm going to cover up with double crochets by going down. So I always refer to this as mosaic crochet, but I think people also, I mean, I think the proper name is like overlay mosaic, which makes sense because I'm overlaying these stitches to cover up the ones behind. So now I'm going to do single stitches across the orange pumpkin, and those are going to get covered up later by orange. I'm partially narrating this for myself because I don't really understand how this works that well yet. Okay, now I do double crochet. And back to single. And then back to double. Whenever I post videos on mosaic crochet, people talk about how many ends there are to weave in, which is very valid. In my mind, I think one of the best things you could make is like a pillow cover. One of the only things I've made so far is a pillow cover, and I just cut these off about that long, and then I sewed them together. So I did not weave in all the ends. And this one I'm definitely not, because it's just a practice swatch, but that's kind of the route I'm going with my mosaic crochet patterns is, you know, you can make an edge. They call it like an envelope edge or something that will enclose all the ends. Like if you were gonna make a blanket or something like that. Okay, hold on. What am I doing here? Nothing too crazy. I'm just going across, kind of the same as I did the last orange row. Okay, I told myself I was gonna try and go live for 5 minutes. I made it for 12, so I think I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks, guys. If you watched, I'd appreciate a like since this is my first time going live and I'm not sure if it's anything that anyone's interested in watching. So appreciate you guys and follow to see how this turns out. If I don't go live again, I will definitely post a short or a video to share how my mosaic crochet pumpkin turns out. Bye.